I am trying to, bring forth to you on this particular day of our orientation program is our friend Oscar Pujol has already given you indication about teaching profession, and he has linked the profession with passion, practice, devotion. Same thing I apply it to our translation business and entrepreneurship. Why entrepreneurship or why entrepreneurial skills are very important for a linguist? The reason is, if you are working as a translator or a linguist at any particular company, try to understand, you devote at least 8 to 10 hours there, right? And after devoting 8 to 10 hours, let's say you do so for approximately 5 years, 10 years time, and you continue to do the same thing, don't you feel there will be a stagnation coming into your life? Don't you feel you will get stuck up, at point after 5 years or 10 years, even if you get good salary, because you are doing a routine work? So human brain, mind becomes slow, and linguists are there, for creativity. So the creative passion, becomes passive. A frustration comes that we call midlife crisis. I have been interacting with variety of people, from India, all states almost, and in Europe, US, Canada, Latin American countries, Asian region. You will be happy to know that I'm also, the founding Secretary General of Asia Association of Translation Industry, with its headquarters in Bangkok. It is a grouping of translators associations, and translators, senior translators across 12 countries in Asian region. We call it ASEAN, with headquarters in Bangkok. There are lots of people who, who have started thinking, chalo Bangkok, let's go to Bangkok. You can go there, when we organize a conference. We had 3 years back. We were planning to have it this year, but it has got postponed. We will have it. We will be having it soon. We will announce it. If you want, you can come over. That's a good point to travel. It's a very cost-effective point, to do our conferences, because royal family, of Thailand helps us a lot, including upgradation from normal cattle class ticket to a business class ticket. These things are complementary thing for all translators who travel by royal family, So those things you will get. But let's come back to the main agenda, that networking among people and entrepreneurship can happen only when there are certain extra skill sets than linguistic one. I call it non-linguistics. Even in translation, there are lots of non-linguistic aspects, because when you are doing translation of strings, IT, and you don't know the basics of handling those strings, you run into bigger trouble. Your project will be a waste of time if you do not know how to handle them, because you will keep on sending and sharing file between your client and you. They will keep on asking you variety of questions, and they will send you file for correction, and your life will become hell if you don't understand them. So the non-linguistic aspect is very important. But additionally, what is important is, suppose you don't know non-linguistic aspect, right? And you were not trained. You accepted a project from a translation company. You did mistakes. Translation company tried to help you out once, twice, thrice, and finally they got disgusted, and they say you are a useless translator and rejected. And they don't pay either. What will happen? All of your efforts are gone. What will you do? You will wage a war. This translation agency is useless translation agency. There may be, that fellow may be useless, because that project manager could have not briefed you or trained you. It was his responsibility. Or you were useless because you didn't ask them to be trained. You just said, you know everything. There are lots of people who say, okay, it will be done, and you do nothing. So it is not a professionalism. It is not a devotion. It is not a self-respect for yourself. If you want really to be respected, you need to have your basic fundamentals very clear. The basic fundamentals of project management, translation management, glossary management, client management, contract management, risk management, feedback mechanism, continuous development, all these, basic things should be clear. This is what we will be doing during this our internship program here at Modlingua for 2 months. There are some interns who request me to remain in touch with me for next 5 months as well. I don't stop, but as long as you are learning and not, killing time, I have no problem. But the fundamentals are, you must improve, learn, try and do it. You do errors, get controlled, again do errors, control, improve. If you don't do this, you will not be able to improve in anything, either teaching, interpretation, translation, subtitling, or content writing, editing. There are certain now aspects of language business that is called localization, globalization, internationalization. Similarly, there are new avenues that has come up. We call it domain experts, peer review experts, social media analyst, content analyst, sentiment analyst. These are all who are doing this. These are all linguists. Little bit of certain tweaking on career development with certain 1 week or 10 days or 2 months training. You enter into totally a new domain and make big bucks. Imagine if you become all in one. Will you feel that you will need any office to go? Every now and then you will say, no, I am not interested in this project. I want this one. This is what I have done, my friend. If you want to take example from me, let me brief you about myself. I did my BA. I did, in fact, first year of my studies in political science from Delhi University. After my 10+2 from a military school called Sani School, Tilaiya, Jumri Tilaiya, it has produced the highest number of defense officers in India. I went to Delhi University, did my political science there, first year. 12th, I didn't do well in my exams because of many reasons. So I could not take admission in a very posh college. I ended up in a very good college otherwise in Delhi University, political science. I did well. I was the topper of the college, 60% marks. Offered admission in Karorimal College there to upgrade myself into second year there directly. Parallelly, I took admission in Jawaharlal Nehru University for hostel because university has a very good hostel facility at low cost. Took admission in Arabic, studied there for a month. Then I realized, no, I should make a career here in another language. Then after studying 1 month of Arabic, I said to chairperson of Spanish that, can you give me a transfer here? He said, already first sessional exams are over. You will not be able to cope up. But luckily, he was very nice person and he allowed me to transfer. So I transferred myself from Arabic to Spanish. Why Spanish? Because the Spanish center was a very cool center, in JNU campus. We had lots of party, fiesta, dance party, booze party. Every weekend we used to have, our special party, we call booze party. As a young, this is what I was doing. But that booze party was a good point of, interaction, intercultural interaction. We used to have seniors coming, juniors coming, variety of people coming. Our Spanish center booze party was accompanied by other centers party like French, German, all Italian, not Italian, Portuguese center. So this Russian as well, So we had a very mix of good friends among us. And we used to learn there, while drinking rum or whiskey or beer, etc. Cerveza we call. But after having studied for a year, I was able to understand that, I can make a big career out of there. But the reality was our teachers, many teachers, were discouraging, nothing is going to happen after you learn it. So Then I started questioning, myself, whether I should believe them. Then my sixth sense said, no, I should not believe them. You should believe yourself. Learn from them, the positive things, reject the negative ones. So negative vibes, I rejected them. I started moving around with on airports, at monuments to talk to people in Spanish. Practiced. Second year, I went as a guide, tour guide, uh, to Agra, Jaipur, Delhi with a group. And there I learned from drivers, learned from shopkeepers, learned from street boys, they were talking in 10 languages, selling their product. So I had a depression there, talking, I was thinking I'm a police graduate, from a well-known university, and the boys on the streets are talking in 10 languages and you are talking in only one language. So I learned from them that, you should have more skills. So I started learning Portuguese. And then I learned a little bit of French also. That is the career graph. Did my master's, parallelly I joined a full-time job, did work for Peruvian embassy as administrative officer, promoted them, their business. I even sold aircraft, while working as admin officer there. It was very tough. It took 1 year to take lots of permissions from a variety of agencies and all. Learning, learning. Parallelly, I published some books on doing business in Latin America, one on doing business in Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, and whatnot. Did some research work, opened a research company, parallelly. I started teaching at Indian Institute of Foreign Trade as a professor there. I started interacting with MBA students. I did lots of, compelled them to do lots of research on Latin American market. So while teaching, I learned, to what is the profile of a country, economic profile, what are the products they sell, what is NAFTA, SAFTA, what is CARICOM, what are all these, trade blocks, etc. What is diplomacy, what is international relations. I qualified for Spanish, School of Diplomacy, Madrid, and till today, nobody has cleared that examination. That examination I cleared in 1999 when I was doing my master's. Unfortunately, I could not go there for some family reasons, but that pride I always carry, that I am the only one who qualified that examination. Why this happened? Because I was studying international relations, doing political reports, etc., etc., etc. But if I, as a language student, if I had believed some people, koi career nahi hai, nothing is there, then perhaps I could have been a very docile person, lots of students from languages, they remain, dull people, directionless. There are people, you will find them totally in depression. Somebody preparing for civil, somebody preparing for defense, somebody preparing for what not, and directionless, preparing for MBA and all. My friend, your language skill with certain tweaking in your business skills, you are the master. You are the person who is negotiating at every stage. I had been promoting it, to variety of people time and again. Tell me, who communicates between the nations? It is the translators. Modi ji goes to, let's say, to Russia. Who facilitates the talk between Modi and Putin? Translators. Modi ji talks to premier in China. Who facilitates the talks? Translators. Modi ji wants to talk only in Hindi with Barack Obama in US. Who facilitates? The translator. Luckily, I have facilitated him at some international conferences as well, in Dubai as well as in some Indian context as well, and some variety of people, including French Prime Minister, President of India, Finance Minister, Manmohan Singh ji, and whatnot. You, as a translator, interpreter, you get lots of opportunity to interact with these dignitaries and learn from them. Their lifestyle, their way of talk, their composition. We call this, if you on this matter, now if you read translation theories, you will come to know that the the dichotomy or the conflict, between word to word and sense to sense translation is prevailing in the Western world from Cicero, Greek period, to Aristotle, Plato, and whatnot. Later on, the functional translation, Schleiermacher theory in Germany, Deulet in France, and Pym in Spain. They're all these big thinkers. They have been giving thoughts. Even there is a Russian school of thought, there is a Vienna school of thought, there is a Chinese school of thought, there is an Indian school of thought on translation theory, how to translate. There is a cultural turn, there is a feminist turn. Why translators are always considered by writers as she? When they translate, she does it. So the feminists say that you are feminizing the translators. The feminist thought. Similarly, the cultural turn, they say not word to word, no system, no linguistic. It is culture that plays a role. If you don't know the cultural nuisance, translation is of no use. Then there is a social turn. When they say if you don't know the social context, nothing can happen. In social turn, there is specifically a concept called persona of a translator that plays an important role. It is not the text that is important. It is not the context that is important. It is neither the culture nor other things. They are important, but the most important is the persona, the upbringing, the thinking pattern of the translator. If a translator's thinking pattern is oriented, towards promoting village, he will have a totally different thought process in translating. If he's a business mind, he will do translation totally in a different angle. If he's a technologically, savvy people, he will bring technological angle. If he's a balanced person, he will try to bring everything that he has learned, So if a disturbed translator, mentally, physically, or psychologically, girlfriend has, dissed him or her, boyfriend has dissed him, and that particular translator is doing a translation, let's say of a literature, can you imagine he will be able to do justice at that phase of time? So the persona of a translator, is very important now. And that persona now, if I have given, I was supposed to give you that video today called Doxa. There is a Pierre Bourdieu, is an Algerian philosopher who has given a sociological theory on power relations in society. He talks that it's not only money that is very important, but he says it is also the social capital. It is also the cultural capital. It is also the political capital. It is also the intellectual capital that matters in anybody's life. So when you are in society in a power game, all these capitals are important. And in that capital, the individual's, intellectual capital of a person, the persona of that person is visible on his face, and that visibility in Hindi we call sanskar. And he gives another name to that visibility, and that is called doxa. Overall, presentation of your upbringing from your childhood till date is visible on your face. So my fundamental is how to influence that doxa on your face and make you confident to take on the language world and business world together. So in our internship program, there are 5 points that we always keep into consideration while giving you training or giving you assignment. First, your persona should change, the sanskar. Means that will happen only when you have the power. Power either intellectually, knowledge, social, political, money. You bring from any or all, right? So that is there. Number 2, we are very concerned whether whatever you are learning, you are sharing it with people or not. Because if you don't share, your doxa will never improve. Your personality will never improve. You will remain a person sitting in the corner. busy with the computer. That is not the life, my friend. Bring changes wherever you are, even inside your house, right? Number 3, professionalism, commitment. If you commit that you have to do, you will do it. You must do it at any cost, even if you are at the loss, because your loss will be for once, but the faith that you break, on human beings, commitment we say, that faith, will kill the humanity, the trust factor. So if you are not building trust with people around, either in personal life or in professional life, Jindagi is of no use. Life has no value. Keep that commitment, my friend. And 4th, take initiative. Self-starter. Not necessarily I need to push you. One will push you at certain point, till some points. Motivations, guidance. If you don't ask, you will not get solutions. When I'm saying ask, doesn't mean that now you will keep on giving me calls, 24 hours. Ask your friends. There the teamwork comes. Get in touch with me only when you have no solutions anywhere. I will certainly give you a solution. But if you don't try among your own self, how you will communicate with each other? How you will develop a rapport? How you will communicate, your frequency, persona, this aura we call it, in a spirituality sense. Madhu is here. We will request him to talk about spiritualism and life, balance with life someday. And the last part that comes into picture, is entrepreneurial, managerial skill, covering the risk. So how you cover the risk? You cover the risk when you know the project management well. You cover the risk when you know how to sell yourself well. You cover the risk when you know how to improve upon well. You cover the risk when you continuously improve, when you learn to accept the mistakes and improve. De-learning is also important. De-learn and then learn and improve. So all these factors we will cover in our internship program over last in next 2 months, and we'll try to buzz whatever we do, and that is what I expect from you. Whatever you learn, make as much noise as possible, because if you don't make noise, silence will kill your visibility, and this world does not currently is not in a position to give you due respect and position as per what you deserve. If you want people to know you well, create as much noise as possible, at times directly, but not offending people. If they are getting offended, change that way out and retain them. Don't push them away. Bring them back, pull them back before. So there is a pull and push marketing there. We have already learned. There will be doxa, persona, power relations, networking. There will be quality management in translation. There will be interpreting. There will be subtitling. There will be summary. There will be profiling of yours. If you are interested now, the world is moving towards from text to visual. You can do video editing also. If you strongly express your desire and you are willing to learn, we can teach you video editing, and you can create your own profile or video and everything. So be self-sufficient. The idea is to be as much self-sufficient as possible. The more self-sufficient you are, the more productive you will be. You will do things faster, at quick pace. And the more quick you are, the better worth you will have in the job market. So that is what it is, my friend. So instead of being controlled by MBAs or project managers who are not linguists, My always suggestion is to increase your little bit of profile, change some directions, add some features in your system, from linguistics to manager, IT, artificial intelligence, data analytics, social media analysis, domain experts, content writer, editors, managers, interlocutors. Add little bit, slowly. You will find a bigger change in next 2-3 years. And if that happens, my purpose is solved. And I am sure, if you bring changes in yourself through whatever we teach you, it will be a major impact in the industry. When you get promoted, myself as a teacher, I will feel enlightened, number one. My company, Modlingua, will also be promoted. Google will know what I'm doing and what you are doing. So they will pick me up, from bottom and bring me top. And luckily, Modlingua is always on the top of the Google search engine. And all this is happening because Modlingua has been sharing, helping people. And that is the return which I'm getting. Your happiness, your changes, betterment in life, little bit, makes us better. Thank you, my friends, for your time. I will not take much of your time again now. We'll meet again tomorrow on WhatsApp. If any of you who are not receiving my WhatsApp messages, it is because you have not saved my number. So I repeat, my number, you please save. India number, that is +91 9953 88 2481. I repeat, +91 9953 88 2481. Please share this video. Please share about this internship program and try to bring more people to Modlingua's channel, because we need currently subscribers. The more subscribers we have, the more positive energy we will spread around. That is what I expect from you all, my friends. Thank you for your time and goodbye. If you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free. I will be happy to answer.